Ant-Man and the Wasp is a pretty interesting movie, as it's a sequel to the one Marvel Cinematic Universe movie that at first I didn't really know what to make of it. I mean, as you guys know, I did like the original Ant-Man, but it was so weird. There was, of course, the basic premise of it, the fact that Marvel was deciding that it was the right time to make an Ant-Man movie, and of course all the controversy that was surrounding the firing of the original director, but I still wasn't sure what to make of this one either at first. So the movie starts with Scott Lang under house arrest after the events of Captain America Civil War. You know, it seems like the way Marvel is going right now, every time they release a movie that's like the first of a new franchise, you can pretty much safely watch it without having seen any other movies from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But once the sequel rolls out, yeah, there's going to be a lot of required watching beforehand. Anyway, Scott is living out his sentence and also constantly being checked in on by an FBI agent who would really like to catch him violating the terms of his house arrest and send him to prison for 20 years. Due to the fact that he used Hank Pym's technology for his lawbreaking, Pym and his daughter are also on the run, moving from place to place and using their shrinking and expanding technology to stay far ahead of the FBI. The plot kicks off when Scott has a dream about the original Wasp, Janet Van Dyne, and he's quickly contacted by the Pyms, who believe that due to his escape from the quantum realm at the end of the first Ant-Man, he has been contacted by Pym's missing wife, and they can use the energy that Scott has in his head to pinpoint her location and extract her from the quantum realm. Now, as if that wasn't plot enough, there's also, of course, antagonists. The first is Birch, who's a shady and very scummy black market dealer from whom the Wasp had been getting parts from to build the machine needed. And after she spurns his sleazy advances, he tries to blackmail the Pyms and steal their shrunken-down lab. There's hints that Birch is working for a greater scope villain, but the truth behind that is never revealed. The other major antagonists are Ghost and Goliath. Ghost is a young woman who, after an accident that killed her family, has gained the ability to phase in and out of existence, but also is in constant pain, and will soon die if she doesn't get access to the quantum realm, so she has a very pressing interest in Pym's tech. Goliath, who he actually isn't like a super guy in this movie, he's a former associate of Pym's who is now like a surrogate father to Ghost and is helping her cure her illness, but Goliath isn't really all that bad, as he's very much against hurting anyone to achieve his goals. On top of all this, the FBI believes that Scott is still at home with his ankle bracelet on, and he's constantly having to worry about being found out. So yeah, there's a lot of movie here, and sometimes that's a good thing. It certainly is a lot of sequel escalation from the first film. You get more shrinking and expanding, though it seems to me that they may have been using it more sparingly in this film. You also get a lot more action with big set pieces involving Ant-Man at all sizes, including growing to giant man size and being half shrunk down to kid size. My issue with the movie is mainly that it's less focused than the first one. The first one was a simple comedy heist action movie that just happened to be about superheroes in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Although it contained a scene where Ant-Man fought the Falcon and made many references to past films, it was very much a movie that, just stood on its own. Whereas this one has a short list of movies that you should have watched first other than the first Ant-Man. So, here's the thing though, I really don't fault it much for that. At this point, very few people are walking in to any current Marvel Cinematic Universe movie as their first. What we get here, though, is a movie that is more bombastic and with more action than the first film, but I felt it had less laughs and it was less concise. The main way to put this is that the movie really feels like it's about to wrap everything up at a certain point and end, but that's only halfway through the movie. There's still a whole half of a movie to go. It's entertaining from beginning to end, but I definitely prefer the first one. My only other complaint would be that for a movie called Ant-Man and the Wasp, there's not a lot of screen time shared between the two characters. Usually you get one or the other. There's very few scenes of them fighting side by side. Now, your takeaway from this review should be that, yeah, the first one is better, but this is a very decent, if not slightly generic superhero movie. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10.